Hey everybody, this is Dr. Waldron. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the Healthy Cocktail Hour. And today you're going to see on the site there that we got the recipe. We're not going to actually do the smoothie ourselves, but you got the recipe. It's a super strawberry smoothie. Just keep in mind again, getting into the habit of using a smoothie as a great way to start your day. It's a good way to add some fresh from Florida fruits or even veggies for that matter into a smoothie. I highly recommend that you add some protein in there. You'll see an option on there as far as adding protein. You can do a variation of vanilla milk or whole milk or skim milk or whatever your preference is as far as making a smoothie, but make it a habit. Start today. Folks, we've got so much time on our hands right now, more so than normal, let's say, but getting into a healthy habit, and what a great habit for your kids. So it's something you want to do on a daily basis if you can get into it. And if you miss a day or two, that's okay. But as a habit, we want to be consistent with a habit that feeds ourselves, feeds our kids, gets us more focused on getting the nutrients back in the system. A lot of times I tell patients it's not so much that we're going to not do so many of the bad things that we should be doing, it's just do more good things. Add more whole foods, supplement on a daily basis as opposed to something that you're doing once a week. Oftentimes patients tell me, well, I take my vitamins, but I take them when I remember. And when they remember, it's a lot of times maybe once a week. So get in the habit of doing it every single day. That's what the research and the studies indicate is when patients take their supplements on a daily basis, the outcomes for a longer, healthier life is much better. Today I'm going to talk about an area within our practice. As a chiropractic physician, as we focus more on healthcare, one area of our practice has been on weight loss. And I look at what's going on in this country today with our children, with our adults, what's happening and what the prediction is over the next 10 years. You know, I've had a lot of comments made about 2020. We're kind of ready for this thing to get moved on, get past this pandemic. I'm with you. I'm trying to stay positive as we try to help our patients stay healthy and make the right choices and do the right things to help get through this process and get to where we're leveling out and we can proceed on with life. But every day we got to take care of our health, and I still tell you that's the number one thing you can do is build a better you, build a healthier you. Take your vitamins, take the right steps each day to do what is necessary, and that is a habit. Many of us have grown up in a home maybe where we didn't have those habits. I fortunately had a dad that took supplements and drank smoothies, and we worked out. We did things like that I didn't even think about, but it was a foundation for me. Today it's routine. I've taught my kids, and I'm passing that on to them. Not that it's going to guarantee them to be healthy, but that they're going to be healthier than they would be if they didn't take those, especially in today's America when it comes to the foods and the refined processed foods that we're consuming. And the reflection of that is this. In 2030, a recent published research article indicates that 1 out of 2 people are going to be obese. We're going to have 1 out of 2 people in America are going to have a BMI of 30 or greater. If you stop and think about a BMI of 30 or greater, and if you're out there today and you're overweight or you're dealing with some obesity and you're really stopping and looking, what do I need to do for myself? You know you want to feel better, you want to look better. It's inherent. That's the New Year's resolution that people are always focused on is what do they do to improve their appearance and improve their overall health. And our program in our office is not so much about a diet as much as it is teaching people to be healthy. Fortunately, I had a foundation as a kid growing up. We were active, played sports, took supplements, ate whole foods, ate at home. I mean, I never ate out hardly as a child at all, or as a kid growing up, even as a teenager. We ate the majority of our food at home. I had a mom that was a great cook, is a great cook, and she cooked our meals along with my grandmother, who we ate at her house oftentimes, but we ate at home. We knew what we were getting. We were getting good quality whole foods, sometimes maybe a little bit more on the southern style, but we've cleaned that up even as I've gotten older and even taught my kids to try to eat healthier. Yes, I enjoy some of those southern comfort type foods, but it's not my lifestyle anymore. So something to keep in mind, but in 2030, we're looking at studies and predictions that only as we look around today and we look at how kids have gotten bigger, how we have kids at 14 years of age walking in my office that are pre-diabetic. I was told about 5 or 6 or 7 years ago in a conference that we're going to start seeing kids taking the same medications that adults are, and we are there. We're at that point in time where we have got 14-year-old kids that are pre-diabetic. And I'm not going to pick on the school system, but I think the whole school system in the country is taken away from kids who don't have enough PE, they don't have enough activity, and they're eating foods and meals that it is not always a properly balanced meal. There's so many carbohydrates, and I understand some of the things behind that, but I also understand also what it's doing to these kids when they're not active, they don't have PE, or if they have PE, it's very minimal, and on the other hand, they're eating foods that are in high processed, refined carbohydrates, which is leading to the destruction of their health. So keep that in mind. A 2030 study, I think we're going to continue to hear more about it. In that study, they talked about 1 out of 4 will be a BMI of 35 or greater. So 1 out of 4 people in 2030 is anticipated to have a BMI of 35 or greater, which is considered morbidly obese. When you look at morbidly obese or obesity in itself, we look at 35 direct diseases that are affiliated with being obese or overweight. A lot of those we know and hear of every day. It's got to be common nature that pre-diabetes and diabetes and high blood pressure, those are just secondary. People it's routine and they take their pills and they keep going. But it takes a change in lifestyle to make a difference in those. We see it every day. When patients make that choice, when they mentally make up their mind that they don't look good or they don't feel good or their health, they've got a health checkup that is not good, they call our office, they get in, we sit down with them, we go through a medical history. We look at what's going on with that person. It's not just about having a weight loss program or having some kind of a diet pill that a patient can come in and passively take or get an injection or do something along those lines. That is not changing the mindset. You've got to change your mindset about what you're doing, not only for you, but for your family. You're kidding yourself if you think you can clean it up for yourself, but you're watching your kids gain weight and increase the likelihood of poor health as time goes on. Especially when we look at 10 years from now, BMI levels going to 30 and 35 in a large majority of the population. But that is occurring. That is those kids that are 16, 17, and 18 right now that in the next 10 years are going to be 26, and they're going to be in a position of being 1 out of 2 people with a BMI of over 30. So parents, your kids and what you're feeding them, stop, take a second look, create a habit. Tell them no. Learn to tell your kids no when it's a poor product that they're putting in their body that's going to have an impact on their insulin levels, on insulin resistance. It has an impact on prediabetes and diabetes and high blood pressure. These kids today don't have near the chance that we had growing up in a time where activity was at an extreme high. We didn't have computers and cell phones to stop and slow us down, and all of these things are changing our society. Yes, I know we're dealing with a pandemic right now, and that only adds more stress and the uncertainty and the fear. And how do you think that affects your hormonal system and how your adrenal glands and your endocrine system's responding, especially if you watch the news every day? I've started advocating to my patients, back off on the news. It's too much load. You're loading your mindset to a point that's stressing your body and stressing your health. It's stressing your immune system. You are kidding yourself if listening to that information over and over and over is not having an impact on your health, and it's not a good impact. There's a lot of studies out there that talks about how it affects our brains, and specifically the amygdala, which is in the center of the brain, is affected, and it has an impact on the immune system when we are overloaded with something fearful. So guys, no doubt, we think we've got it. We're Americans, and we are strong, and we're dynamic, and we got a great leader who is trying to lead us, but we've also individually and in our communities have got to stop and do the best that we can each and every day. And when it comes to obesity and being overweight, man, I am adamant about helping my patients regain their health more than even lose the weight. Losing the weight is awesome, but when I see these patients walk in our office and they've lost 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, you take a bag of feed, 50 pounds of feed that you're carrying around all day long, the stress on your joints, the stress on the disc in the lower back that we talked about last week. When you look at the stress on the immune system, the likelihood of prediabetes and diabetes, listen, we are weakening our bodies as time goes on. The immune system doesn't have as good a chance. That's why you see statistically that I've looked at so far that a lot of people who have passed with the COVID-19 are diabetics and patients who are overweight. And listen, you're talking about 35 disease processes that are affected when you are overweight or obese. And that is a variation. The biggest ones we see are diabetes and high blood pressure and cardiovascular issues. So those things are real, and you've got to stop and in your mindset decide, when are you going to make that change? Number one for you, I think, as individuals and especially as parents, and especially you moms out there, because it is the ladies that we see a lot of, and they're the caretakers of the kids, and they're the caretakers of the husbands. And so in our community, I look and tell you, every day when we see these patients and our heart goes into where you're at and what you're going to. I don't know what you might have come up with in your childhood, but I know that it is not uncommon to change maybe 50, 60, 70 different habits of a person who has grown up for 20 or 30 years with certain habits, that we're not just putting them on a diet. We're helping them change their lifestyle and who they are and what they're all about. So understand, it's not just about a diet. It is more about a lifestyle plan. It's something that we spend the first 90 days in helping you reorient your thinking about what you're going to do, how you're going to approach your foods and the quality of foods that you're going to eat and put in your body and fuel your system with a whole food that has got macro and micronutrients. It's got vitamins and minerals. It's got phytonutrients in there that are so many to even begin to name as far as that goes. An apple, strawberries. You look at all the fresh from Florida type fruits and veggies, along with even the beef industry and what we produce right here in the state of Florida. And I think Floridians in general, at least based on the surveys I've read, they want to eat foods that are produced locally. We want to support our community and our farmers and our ranchers. Today, I know that there are farms right here locally that are harvesting their first watermelons. So you look at the work and the effort that's been put into that. You look at what those guys have been stressed and strained with. You talk about this pandemic and looking at all the studies out there where all this fresh food is being tilled under and is not being able to be utilized. The milk farmers, I mean, you got it from A to Z where the farmers and ranchers have been impacted in what they put their life and soul into. And just like here in our office, we put our life and soul into the patient to help them not only lose the weight, but improve their health. I think at the end of the day, with the Good Life Weight Loss Program and what we've developed over the last 8 years, as we have been named #1 weight loss facility in Highlands County, which I take that to heart, that it tells me and impresses upon me that we're doing the right things. We're seeing patients lose 20, 40, 50, 60, 80, 100 pounds, 130, 140 pounds, helping those patients keep that weight off, maintaining that more than anything. It is one thing. I won't tell you that anybody can lose weight. That's a common comment. You can lose the weight, and sometimes if it's 20 or 30, if it gets to be 50 or 60, it takes a lot of mindset. It takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of help and coaching, and that's what our team does. I've got an awesome team, and that team pulls together. And when that patient comes in, we may not always address all the issues there, but we're talking about that patient when they leave and what we need to do for them as we move forward to help them succeed. We have a 20 pounds in 40 days, and that is not just to entice somebody to come and lose weight. I want their mind to be made up. I want them to be committed when they walk in our doors and get on the Good Life Weight Loss because they want to live a good life. They want to look good and feel good. And so it takes commitment, #1, to walk through the door. And #2, we are in the process of getting onto some Zoom programs. So we will be going to a weekly seminar where I'm going to be presenting more and more information on the studies and the statistics and things that will help you make a better decision of why is now one of the most important times in your life. If you're overweight or obese, why you need to make a change, why you need to call our office, come in, sit down, have a consult, let us review your medical history, let us team with your medical doctor on what they're doing for you, and as a team is pulled together and help you not only lose weight, but to change your life so that you have a better life, that you can live a good life and enjoy yourself and enjoy your grandchildren and your children and whatever it may be. But anybody wants to live a good life. I think that's something that we all want, but oftentimes it's hampered or limited by our weight, by the pre-diabetes, the diabetes, the blood pressure, the cardiovascular issues. These are all real. And you're going to go treat, and you can treat those passively. And you can live a certain period of time, but you're not going to live a quality of life that you could have lived. So it does take decision. It does take a mental mindset to be changed. And our goal is not that we are going to change you, but that you are going to change you. We're going to give you the information. We're going to give you the knowledge to be able to make a better decision on a day-to-day basis and why you might choose one food product over another food product. A whole food versus a processed food. What is that processed food doing when you put it in your body and it stimulates insulin? It affects the brain. We put these artificial sweeteners. I'll still tell you folks out there, if you're drinking diet sodas, stop drinking them. They are bad for your health. There's nothing good about them when it comes down to it. When I look at what patients, and many patients, typically with diet-type products, they don't just drink one diet soda, they drink 3 or 4 or 5 because of the stimulation to the body, because of the impact it has. The tendency is to want more of something that's actually making you bigger. The likelihood of you becoming obese or overweight is even greater. The word diet on there is such a misnomer, it's not even funny. I don't even know how they get by with that, honestly. But at the same time, I'm just telling you, if you're a diet soda drinker, stop. Make some changes. Drink some water. Get your system flushed out. Start making some changes. If you need some help, give our office a call. That information is going to be online that you can look up. It's our website's Waldron Chiro, www.waldronchiro.com or waldronchirofl.com. And go to our site. Our phone number's on there. It's 863-382-4445. If you're interested in coming in for a weight loss consult, we're going to sit down with you. We're going to embrace you and find out what's going on in your life. Not just, how much do you weigh and how much do you want to lose. It's more about what have you done and what has happened in your healthcare history. I know that a lot of females who have had hysterectomies or partial hysterectomies have a huge change in their endocrine system, and it definitely has an impact on their bodies gaining weight. The average patient I see that's a female that has had a hysterectomy probably on average will gain 30 pounds. That's just what I see after thousands of interviews with females. That's a very common thing that I see. So it's not just, as you look at yourself and you want to make some changes, there's some reasons why you're putting that weight on and your body can't get rid of it. It's not just calories in and calories out. That might happen more so when you're in your teens or in your 20s, but after you get into your 30s, after you've had children, your system changes. It's not just that simple. I know that sometimes trainers and so forth want to tell a person, "Oh, just come down here and work out and exercise and eat right, and you're going to lose the weight." I'm not putting that down, guys. I'm very supportive of my patients doing things with trainers and working out, but it's getting their minds corrected about how they're approaching health and wellness on a day-to-day basis based on the foods that they're putting in their body. And we have a lot of patients that go to the gym every day. They'll do 45 minutes on the treadmill, but they can't lose 2 pounds. They'll walk in our office, and the next 30 to 40 days, we'll help them lose 20 pounds and get back to a healthier level. And from there, then they implement their exercise and begin to improve their overall fitness. So it is a plan. I look at the Good Life Weight Loss Plan. It is more than just weight loss. It is a lifestyle. And if you're out there today and you're needing some help with losing some weight, whether it may be 10 or 15 or 20 pounds, or if you're in a position right now that your health is being affected, you've been to your doctor, or your most recent medical visit indicates that your cholesterol is high, your blood sugar is high, yeah, you can do some things to calm those things down with medications, and you need to follow direction on what your medical physician may indicate. But those are correctable. Those are reversible oftentimes. And we see patients every day that we assist and help reverse their diabetes by being able to reduce the amount of insulin they have to use, or the oral medications for diabetes, high blood pressure. Just about every day we have a patient that's able to connect with their medical doctor and get off their high blood pressure medication or reduce it by half. And again, we look at mind, body, and soul. I think it's very important that we have the right mindset. Patients will come in, we ask them how committed are they. Some will put a 7 or an 8 or a 9. In my opinion, you got to be a 10. You got to make your mind up, make your decision. What am I going to do to change me? And with some help, we are a helping, coaching, directing medical facility that is not only going to help you change your mindset and make the right decisions, but improve your health beyond what you could have ever imagined. So, I know there's a lot of information on obesity out there. There was a lot more numbers I wanted to share with you, but I decided I just want to kind of really summarize the Good Life Weight Loss Plan, what we focus on in a 90-day period. We have 4 different phases that our patients go through. Be more than happy to sit down with you through a consultation and go over what we do and how we approach helping you not only lose weight, but improve your health. So that at the end of the day, when you do go to your medical doctor, and they're somewhat shocked because they will be, is when you walk in the door and you're down 40 pounds, they do your blood work, your cholesterol is normal, your blood sugar is normal oftentimes. Things change. The impression is phenomenal. I love listening to the stories of patients coming back and the feedback from their doctors and from the nurses when they look at the chart and see that you were at 200 and now all of a sudden you're down at 170 or 175. Your blood sugar is normal. Your blood pressure is better. But not only that those changes take place, but we've also helped you change your mind about the approach and the direction you're taking to improve your life and the quality of your family's life, which also affects our entire community. So hopefully you've had some great information here today that you can take, and I hope that you'll give our office a call. We've got a great team. They will take excellent care of you as far as getting you in the office and then sitting down for a consultation to further improve and help you gain what you're looking for as far as improving your health and your well-being. Hope you guys have a terrific day. Life is good. Stay safe.